Revelations.Unveiled.Detroit. All praises, all praises, all praises to the heavenly, holy, almighty creator of infinity, eternity, the universe, and all there is. This is Revelations.Unveiled.Detroit. Hello, family. We are back together again in our zone of warmth, safety, comfort, and love. Sitting back at the knee of knowledge and wisdom for the education and edification of the holy hidden nation. All praises into the scattered tribes of the house of Jacob, wherever you may sojourn on planet Earth, continuing blessings of peace, safety, and harmony. And we are back together and establishing a new series of the Apocrypha, the second book of the Maccabees, the history removed from the Bible, the Greek captivity. And after concluding the first set of books of 16 chapters, we have a wonderful overview of the happenings, goings-ons, politicking, events, circumstances, and consequences within the beginnings of the Greek Empire. So we shall continue with the establishment of the doings of the Holy Seed, the Israelites. And from our last episode, we were with Brother John, who was establishing the nation of Israel under his leadership and priesthood. So we began in our next series, the book of 2nd Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 1. The brethren, the Jews that be at Jerusalem and in the land of Judea, wish unto the brothers, the Jews that are throughout Egypt, health and peace. God be gracious unto you, and remember his covenant that he made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, his faithful servants, and give you all an heart to serve him and to do his will, with a good courage and a willing mind, and open your hearts in his laws and commandments, and send you peace, and hear your prayers, and be at one with you, and never forsake you in time of trouble. And now we be here praying for you. What time, as Demetrius reigned, in the 169th year, we, the Jews, wrote unto you in the extremity of trouble that came upon us in those years, from the time that Jason and his company revolted from the Holy Land and kingdom, and burned the porch, and shed innocent blood. Then we prayed unto the Lord, and were heard. We offered also sacrifices and fine flour, and lighted the lamps, and set forth the loaves. And now see that you keep the Feast of Tabernacles in the month of Caslu. Verse 10. In the 184th year, the people that were at Jerusalem and in Judea, and the council of Judas, sent greeting and health unto Aristobulus, King Ptolemy's master, who was of the stock of the appointed priests, and to the Jews that were in Egypt. Insomuch as God has delivered us from great perils, we thank him highly, as having been in battle against a king. For he cast them out that fought within the holy city. For when the leader was come into Persia, and the army with him that seemed invincible, They were slain in the temple of Nania by the deceit of Nania's priests. For Antiochus, as though he would marry her, came into the place, and his friends that were with him, to receive money in the name of a dowry, which when the priests of Nania had set forth, and he was entered with a small company into the compass of the temple, they shut the temple as soon as Antiochus was come in. And opening a private door of the roof, they threw stones like thunderbolts and struck down the captain, hewn them into pieces, smote off their heads, and cast them to those that were without. Blessed be our God in all things, who has delivered up the ungodly. Therefore, whereas we are now purposed to keep the purification of the temple upon the 5th and 20th day of the month of Caslu, we thought it necessary to certify you thereof, that you also might keep it as a feast of the tabernacles and of the fire, which was given us when Nehemiah offered sacrifice. After that, he had builded the temple and altar. All right, so family, the family that is in Israel is sending greetings to the brothers that are in Egypt and outlining history of occurrences with the various kings of the Greek empires. Verse 19, for when our fathers were led into Persia, the priests that were then devout took the fire of the altar privately and hid it in an hollow place of a pit without water, where they kept it sure, so that the place was unknown to all men. Now, after many years, when it pleased God, Nehemiah, being sent from the king of Persia, did send of the posterity of those priests that had hid it to the fire. But when they told us, they found no fire, but thick water. Then he commanded them to draw it up and to bring it. And when the sacrifices were laid on, Nehemiah commanded the priests to sprinkle the wood and the things laid thereupon with the water. When this was done, and the time came that the sun shone, which afore was hid in the cloud, there was a great fire kindled, so that every man marveled. And the priests made prayer whilst the sacrifice was consuming. I say, both the priests and all the rest, Jonathan beginning, and the rest answering thereunto, as Nehemiah did. And the prayer was after this manner: O Lord, Lord God, creator of all things, who art fearful and strong and righteous and merciful, and the only and gracious King, the only giver of all things, the only just, almighty, and everlasting, you that delivered Israel from all trouble and did choose the fathers and sanctify them. Receive the sacrifice for thy whole people Israel, and preserve thine own portion and sanctify it. Gather those together that are scattered from us. Deliver them that serve among the heathen. Look upon them that are despised and abhorred, and let the heathen know that you are our God. Punish them that oppress us, and with pride do us wrong. Plant your people again in your holy place, as Moses has spoken, and the priests sung psalms of thanksgiving. Now when the sacrifice was consumed, Nehemiah commanded the water that was left to be poured on the great stones. When this was done, there was kindled a flame, but it was consumed by the light that shined from the altar. So when this matter was known, it was told the king of Persia that in the place where the priests that were led away had hid the fire, there appeared water, and that Nemeus had purified the sacrifices therewith. Then the king, enclosing the place, made it holy after he had tried the matter. And the king took many gifts and bestowed thereof on those whom he would gratify. Verse 36, and Nemeus called this thing Naphthar, which, as much as to say, a cleansing, but many men call it Nephi. All praises. Well, family, that was our establishing chapter of the first book of the second Maccabees. All right, so we were presented with the history of the nation beginning at Alexander, and now we have a priest of record, Nemeus, who has cleansed the altar of the temple for the people, to which they gave alms, thanksgiving, and great prayer of appreciation and protection. So we shall continue with the preceding chapters of the second Maccabees, the history removed from the Holy Bible, the Greek captivity. And family, as always, until we are together again, I love you. I love you. I love you. This is Revelations.Unveiled.Detroit. Second Maccabees-1. Revelations.Unveiled.Detroit.